Welcome back to your Salisbury container gardening tutorial videos. I'm Rob Sproul. Today we're talking about designing your container, putting your container together. You can see I have my color wheel. The color wheel, when you're putting a container together, is the best tool you could have. And you can get a color wheel anywhere. You can download it on the internet or whatever. And the thing about a color wheel now is you have different directions on the color wheel. Okay, so when you're putting a container together, for example, if you want to contrast your colors, you look directly across. So for example, if I want to contrast yellow, I'll put it with something blue or something purple. If I want to contrast orange, I'll put it with something blue as well. Red, green contrasts. So that's a contrasting container. You can also do harmonious containers. And harmonious containers, with that, I would make a blue, and then I would kind of look at this range here. And I would say I can do blue and red, I can do blue and light orange, and that's a bit of a harmonious container. Or you can do a monocolor, which are one of my favorites actually. A monocolor, if you can, why don't you take a look at those crotons over there. Those are crotons planted in pot covers. That's a good example of a monocolor. Of course, it's not a container garden, but it's a very good example of one or two very simple colors being used to make a real big statement. Crotons are wonderful in container gardens, by the way. So let's take a look at this container garden. So you're thinking about the colors you have, you're thinking about the color of your house, the color of your deck. What colors do you like this year? And remember, the number one word with container gardening is fun. Have fun. Because with container gardens, you don't have the same kind of commitment as you do buying a shrub or a tree. And so you can have fun. You can say, you know what, this year I'm going to do my container gardens all black or all white. This year I'm going to do cactus. This year I'm going to do this. This year I'm going to do that. And you can do it. And it's fun and you can have a great time. So this container has a lot of different elements in it. Let's take a look at a few of them. First of all, if we take a look at the container itself, you'll see it's a very tall container. This is zinc, a wonderful container. Now, in the container video, I talk about the height of containers and how when you get a high container, you want to have a container garden recipe that really emphasizes height. So you see here, I have lots of vertical elements. I have this canna lily. Canna lilies are extremely popular. Big leafy foliage is very hot this year. So I have this canna lily. I have these curly willow stems. I have some cleome, and I have a bromeliad, which is a little more in the exotic touch. So I have all sorts of stuff in there that is beautiful. And if you look at, now take a look at the colors involved. So I have the height aspect. Now take a look at the colors. Look at, this is sweet potato vine. And these are three colors. This is bronze, lime, and this one's called blackie. Beautiful colors. What a beautiful container garden this is. And look how these two contrast. You talk about a contrasting container. Lime and dark burgundy contrast strikingly. You can see them from space. And so if you look at some of the foliage in here, you have your canna lily, which contrasts extremely well with the cleome with the pink. You can see the pink undertones in the canna lily. Look for undertones in flowers. For example, look at this Supertunia. Can you get a close look at that? It's a dark pink, but it becomes a burgundy in the middle. So it's going to contrast extremely well with the yellow of a croton leaf or other yellows. So the undertones of flowers are very important. And you look at the textures, look at all the textures at play here. You have your height elements here with many textures within it. You have your color, your upright color here, which is very important. And you have your spillover. These are the three essential elements of a container. In the themes video, I talk about how we've divided those three essential elements into our 6 benches, so each one's color-coded, so you can't go wrong picking from one from each bench. And there's a lot of different colors at play. So when you're designing your container, think about textures, think about size, think about colors and contrasts or harmonious colors. There's so much you can do with a container. Think about the look of your yard. Do you have a modern yard? You might want to do a white and a black. You might want to do a very contemporary container, very architectural, I'm going to grab this alocasia here. This is an alocasia. Very architectural plant, very striking, dramatic plant. Or do you want a container that's maybe more for the foliage side, maybe more of a shady container, like this here, this fern. So there's all sorts of things, so think about the aspects of your container. And the important thing is to come to Salisbury with an idea in your head, but also a little creativity, a little fun in your heart, because it's a fun place to be. And when you come in here, the staff are friendly, they'll help you out, and you can pick and choose, build your own containers, have a great time this spring. That's a little bit of the tutorial. I'm Rob Sproul.